So without further ado, welcome everybody. Again, my name is Nate, and with us today is an old friend of mine, but also a longtime veteran of the craft beer industry, Dan Jennings. So I'll introduce him in just a moment. I think you all probably know how this works, but you should have found the chat window down there. And Dan has said he's willing to take questions throughout the presentation today. So if you have any questions, fire away there with the chat. And so, yeah, without further ado, I'm going to introduce Dan Jennings, who's the Arizona and New Mexico sales manager with Left Hand Brewing. So, yeah, Dan, tell us a little bit about yourself to get started.
How we doing, everybody? Yeah, glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me this here, Nate. Yeah, so I work for Left Hand. I've been at Left Hand for about 2 years, and I've been selling craft beer for different distributors for the last 7 years. Yeah, Left Hand is one of my beers, as well as many other great Colorado, California, and a bunch of Belgian beers. Left Hand took me on 2 years ago. I left my distributor, and I do Arizona, New Mexico now, and I love it. I'm really excited to just kind of focus on one brand, and I love the people that work at Left Hand. I love the beers we make. I believe in the beers, and we are kind of a bigger brewery, but we have 100 employees, and I think we're kind of still like a family, which is great. So I guess today I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the brewery. I've got a bunch of slides, but I'm not going to talk about every slide. But what I have here, these first 2 slides are just slides I kind of stole from our, we do annual business plans with our distributors every year, and just to kind of refamiliarize them. Oftentimes we have people that don't know much about our brewery in these meetings. We show these first 2 slides. So I'll show those, and then I'll show something our marketing team has recently just sent. We're growing very quickly, as you can see in the graph on the next chart. So we have a kind of a marketing department that's growing really quickly, and they send us quarterly a PowerPoint presentation that we can take to our general sales meetings, to our sales reps, and present that to our sales reps and get our sales reps thinking about our brand and understanding what our programs are, a little bit about our beers. And this is kind of new. Actually, I have not presented in front of a full sales force yet, but that's going to happen this year. So it's kind of new to me, this program. And then, we had that cool, I think Nate sent that out, our cool marketing thing with the paint and matting thing that went viral with that Denver Post blog. It was the most viewed blog last year in the Denver Post, that beer blog. And that was something that cost us 3 cases of beer. We sent the kids down to the brewery, down to the stadium with 3 cases of beer that went viral. So we'll talk about that a little bit, and then, I think we'll just start firing questions or whatever, just start talking. But so this is our brewery right here. This is something we show. This is a little dated because this is what we used last year, 2014. Just shows the growth, and it just basically all we really talk about is we're the 38th largest craft brewery in the country, and we're the 50th brewery overall of all of the, that macro breweries. So we kind of show that, and then this just kind of shows Left Hand, kind of our growth in the section where it's flat from like 97 to 2007. We also owned a distributor. We distributed a bunch of beers up in Colorado, and then they sold that off in 2007 and started focusing on making more beer. But and I got to say, I kind of looked at some of your profiles. I was waiting for Nate the other day, and some of your marketing. Some of you folks said you like Breckenridge Brewery's marketing. I looked at kind of a few random people, but I'm sure the guy from Colorado, was it Brian, probably said that. But those Breckenridge ads, I think they're awesome. And Todd Tebow is a good friend of mine. One of the finest people I know in the beer business. So it's really cool to see that you guys like those Breckenridge ads. I think they're hilarious. But so now that's kind of what we show, just to familiarize people at the brewery. But we'll go into this is what I would show in a sales presentation here. This has just a little background about our brewery, which is kind of cool. So we're 21 years old. we're hoping to produce probably over 90,000 barrels this year. We're moving into Southern California, and we're going to kind of expand into a lot of other markets on the East Coast as well. And we talk about our GABF medals, over 24, 9 World Beer Cup medals. And so I guess this is kind of like a little review here of the 38th largest craft brewery. And we're the first craft brewery to sell a nitrogenated beer in a bottle. We don't use a widget. And we're still the only one doing that, which is amazing to me. I think it's been close to 3 years now. We kind of thought like after 6 months there'd be a whole bunch of breweries doing what we're doing, but nobody's really figured it out. So that's kind of cool. But don't be afraid to fire questions or comments at me too as we go. Yeah, Avery, Breckenridge building new breweries up there. That's gonna be pretty cool.
And real quick, so I'm assuming that the marketing team sends out this slide deck, and I think it's quarterly, right? So the idea is that they send you basically talking points about the brewery. Is that kind of
talking points about the brewery?
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So I'll get in front of a crowd. This is kind of designed for sales reps, you know. So we get out, if we have like a incentive program or something, like we got a couple incentive trips where we have the sales teams compete. Salespeople and different distributors compete, try to hit a goal. Then the top salespeople go up to the brewery. We'll have we do one rafting trip where we take people from all over the country river rafting for a day on the Poudre River, which is very fun. We have our Leftapalooza, which is an all-day cover band type thing, and kind of a big festival at the brewery. We take them up for that, and then we do some skiing at Vail, which is one trip I've never been on yet because I guess I sell Arizona, New Mexico, and not many of our people ski. Yeah, this is Mike. This is for just sales reps. That's what we don't show this to the customers, but we could. I don't think there's anything too personal on here or anything.
Yeah,
individual sales sheets. What's that?
The idea is, Dan, is that then you would take this sales deck and have things that you can go when the bar owner or the distributor rep asks you questions. You've got some information to share with them more than just your personal preference or things you know off the top of your head, right?
Oh yeah, we have sales sheets, and actually we have one in this deck here, which I guess we'll get to. I'm not exactly sure how deep it is, but we have one sheet of paper now that has all our beers, all our seasonals, and on the back side it says when they all come out. So that's kind of cool. And that seems like that took a long time for us to get, like all of our beers on one sheet. You know, I was going into accounts and seeing like the Lost Coast guy's got every beer he has on one piece of paper, and he leaves it. And I had nothing to leave. And so we finally came up with something I think is really cool. But let's see. And so this is some of our press hits here. Yes, we have real big on social media. I'm not real big on social media, but we have people that are very big on Twitter, Facebook, and we get hits in all these magazines as well. But all you people with new breweries, I mean, that's something you never think about. But one piece of paper with all your beers on it, leave that in an account. That's awful nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting how you market the stand out in Longmont, a city of several breweries. Yeah, I tell you what we do is we do a lot of events at a lot of fundraisers. We raise a lot of money. We're really good community partners. We have the high five events. We have 5 big fundraisers at the brewery, which are basically just festivals. Some have other breweries. We had Nitro Fest last year, which is our last festival. We had breweries from all over the country. Don't even sell beers in Colorado, but we just basically, charge a ticket price, and I think we raised over $1 million last year for local charities. Like when the floods hit, we raised a bunch of money. We had some catastrophic flooding up in Longmont and Lyons a couple years back. And actually after that, we realized we didn't have money ready to go, so now we have like a foundation where if something tragic happens in the community up there, we can just like cut a check and send it out right away. So we work hard on being good community partners with all of our local festivals, and then we do the Bike MS Also, which I was talking to Nate a little bit about a couple days ago, we sponsor, I guess we do 4 now. We're going to try to take on 1 every year. We do Colorado. We have a huge team in Colorado. We do North Carolina, Florida, and we're doing Ohio this year. And we've raised over $1 million for fighting MS. And the brewery encourages us to go up. Last year I rode in North Carolina, 150-mile bike ride in 2 days. And our team raised over 40 grand. And the cool thing about that is we're raising money for a great cause, and we're the sole beer sponsors for these things. And people are it's not the craft beer crowd. It's a more of a cycle crowd, you know. So some people might not know about our brewery, and they see what we do, and they become hardcore Left Hand fans, you know. Left Hand in Oregon? No, it's not in Oregon. It's up in Washington, and we're expanding a little bit. I think Jason probably is saying it's sold in Oregon, and we're not in Oregon right now, and we're probably not going to have any plans anytime soon. We're moving into Southern California this year. And that's going to be a beast. We're moving into Nevada. And I think Oregon's a pretty established spot with all your great breweries up there. So I don't think we're going to, unless maybe we kind of expand down from Washington. But, yeah, Boise. I'd like to go ride bikes in Boise. Yeah, I don't know what so I should have explained a little bit about myself. What I do is I'm more of a sales rep. I'm like the guy on the street. I'm like the face of the brewery for Left Hand. So I'm not I'm not a marketing guy. I'm more like the guy that builds relationships.
Oh, we lost you, Dan.
You know, like California. Interesting stat with California. They're like our number 3 Twitter fans. People from California would never sell beer in California, so it's kind of strange. So we're going to start selling beer out there, and who knows what's going to happen out there. But anyway, let's go. Oh, here's our. This is like our new sales sheet that we use. And then let's see here. So this is like we have this that's like folded by 4, and I can walk into an account with this, and I can leave this and. So I can just go right into our nitro. We got these nitro beers. These are our year-round beers, the perennials. And I can talk about our seasonal beers, and I can talk about our Big Mo series, our bombers. And so that's kind of cool. This is something I've been pushing for a long time, and I'm really happy that it looks the way. It gets a little bit cooler every year. And also, this is cool. You can leave this, and they can say, when does a good juju come out? They can look down there and see.
Yeah, I hadn't seen one of those before, Dan. I think that's a really nice piece. Yeah, just that way your sales rep or your account can have something in hand so that they know when whatever season is going to come up. That's a great one.
Yeah, and I try to get these in the sales rep's hands too, so they can. Someone asks me questions, they might have one like a milk crate out in their car. I think, oh, wait a second, I got the sales sheet. Like, I'll be right back, you know. So, yeah, so that's. So I'm pretty excited about this right here. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, so then if I was talking, I'd just talk about our winter seasonal, which is currently in the market. In Arizona, we're pretty much out of it, sadly, but. So we have a new beer coming off the Great Juju, which is an Imperial Juju. We actually juiced the ginger for the Juju, so it's a pretty interesting beer. It's real refreshing. It sells like crazy in Colorado, and we haven't quite got it to take off in Arizona yet, but it does really well in a lot of other markets. And so we're kind of going after St. Patrick's Day. We're American Stout. You know, we believe we've got a great. They're kind of the leaders of the Nitro Stout, and the other leader is Guinness. So we're kind of going after. We're American Stout, and we do a lot of promos and events around St. Patty's Day, and we try to try to get people to put our beer on or keep our beer on. We do a lot. We have a lot of POS and and stuff. Or we come up with new stuff every year. But yeah, that's the Drink America Stout. That's a cool. I like that sign. It's green. It's St. Patty's Day, you know.
So Dan, are these is this sort of a leader that you could take in and then ask if they want to have a tacker sign just like that to go up in a bar or something like that? Is that kind of the
Yeah,
idea?
I don't think we'd really take this sheet in there. I think you just kind of like I've got some signs, I've got some beads, and I'm going to bring some shirts in. We're going to do a promo. I think is more. This is actually what the sales rep's going to see, and then everything like we've got in the warehouse. We've got 3 boxes of shirts, and we got a bunch of beads and some wristbands or whatever. This is how we do it in Arizona. The reps will split it up for their promos, and they'll just kind of tell the bar owner, I'm going to bring in a bunch of cool stuff. I'm going to bring some shirts and some beads and stuff and some glassware. Yes, we are sold in Washington, Etheridge, and we're going to expand in Washington a little bit too. I guess we go through Odom up there. And I think we're going to head back to Alaska this year. So I'm hoping to go. Maybe I can talk him into taking me up to Alaska, help open the market or something. We'll see.
Yeah.
And so here's some more of our nitro stuff. We got the new nitro milk stout handle, which is pretty cool. We've got the stout glass, which is a Spiegelau stout glass. I was talking to Nate about that the other day too. That's a pretty cool thing. It's we did that with Rogue actually up there. So it's a Rogue Left Hand collaboration, and Spiegelau made the glass for it, kind of like that Sierra Nevada glass that came out a couple years ago. And if anybody has a Sierra Nevada glass, you'll see that it looks a lot like that. But Eric and Dick and Joe from our brewery went up to Rogue, and the Rogue guys came down to our brewery, and they tried all these different glasses out, and this is the one they liked the best. And it's kind of funny. It does look a lot like the IPA glass. But yeah, we got these LED lights and tackers and all that stuff. Take some else. Yeah, let's do that. Take some Elysian Market. How do you pronounce that? Elysian. Recently bought by Budweiser, huh?
Oh, do you think they're gonna lose share? I'll be curious.
I don't know. I was just telling Nate I think they're going to sell more beer now. Everybody wants that pumpkin peach ale. You know? You got one. Oh, you have one of the Rogue glasses. Cool. That's the same glass, just a different logo stamped on it. So that's cool. What do you think of that glass, John? You like that thing? Cool. I like mine too, and I like the fact that it's actually they say it's actually stronger than a shaker pint glass too. I haven't broken mine yet, so I guess this is pretty much it for my deck. But that's basically something that our marketing team will send out to us, and we'll share that with our sales reps. And basically, you know, my biggest customers are my sales reps. I think I try to build relationships with the sales reps who sell my beer. It's almost as important, or you know, maybe more important, to have those guys and girls. I'm friends with most of the sales reps that sell a lot of my beer. Got to get those guys on their good side, right? And relationship building. That's pretty much. We still sell beer 1 pint at a time at Left Hand. We don't. I don't think there's one person that works at my brewery that has an attitude like, oh, we're the best, or we're, you know, we try to get to know people and sit down in the bars and drink beers, and you know, I want those bar owners to when somebody comes in with another great beer that they're trying to sell, like, oh yeah, we can't take that handle down because that's Danimal's hand, you know, that's Danimal's handle. And in addition to the quality of our beer, the relationships is what I sell my beer on. But,
yeah, I think we talked about that a little bit in preparation, Dan. But I mean, it's telling that for a brand that, you know, Left Hand is pretty good size. You might approach 100,000 barrels this year, but that's still, I was still a little bit surprised that they had a rep in you that literally beats the streets in Arizona and New Mexico, because it is about maintaining that relationship. It'd be pretty easy for somebody, if they never saw anyone other than the distributor, to not feel bad about taking away that handle.
Oh, it sure is, and I think other breweries our size have more reps on the market than we do. I mean, I do 2 states. I'll do 3 states by the end of the year. I'll do Nevada as well. You know, like New Belgium, they've got 2 reps in Phoenix, 1 in northern Arizona, 1 in Tucson, and then 1 in New Mexico. So, of course, they sell a lot more beer than we do. But looking to start, I don't think like if you're a small brewery or like a brewery like Left Hand, I'm not sure what if there's much of a different approach walking into a new account. I really don't think if it's your first keg you're selling, or if it's like Left Hand, we're selling a lot of beer. I think you go in and shake the guy or girl's hand and try to get to know them. You know, I don't know if anybody else agrees with that, but I think, yeah, I mean, I bring your beer in if it's a good quality beer, share it with them and let them try it, and then maybe see what you'll do to support the brand if you can put me on tap, you know. And we're in bottle shops, stores, everywhere. And we sell in grocery stores, chains as well in Arizona. I don't know how Oregon is. You might have liquor stores up there. Colorado does. But yeah, Arizona's a huge chain state. When we actually just hired a new national chain sales guy who's helping us get some more placements in these Krogers and Safeways and Albertsons and all that, because that's where most of the beer gets bought in Arizona, off premise. Yeah, sounds easy enough. I think it is. Try not to. I've got some friends that are in a brewery called Arizona Wilderness. I'm not sure if anybody's heard of them. They're voted the best new brewery in the world like last year on ratebeer.com, and they've got a really good approach. They're friendly. They go in, they shake your hand, and they're happy, and they make good beers. Sometimes they're not the most consistent because they're a brand new brewery and they left, but they try a lot of weird stuff. And then there's another new brewery in Arizona that opened up a few years ago. I won't mention their name, but they spent a lot of time hanging out in one of my big accounts, and they're poor tippers. They weren't tipping well, and they used to get really drunk and be kind of rude. And actually, one of them took a motorcycle and drove into their bartender's car at this account, and then they took off. And now that's the reputation of this brewery now. And of course, we've got a real tight knit community down here, so everybody knows about that. Like, who's going to want to buy their beer now? You know. So yeah, tip well, I guess, and get to know people is the best way to, I think, build relationships.
That was one of the things we started off the course with, I think, was remember that your brand involves not just like advertisements or that sort of stuff when you put on Facebook, but it's every single thing that you do or say when you're wearing a brewery shirt. So if you're making a fool of yourself in a bar, then they're going to be hesitant to put your keg on tap the next time you come around.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people come up to me at festival. I think, I don't know if it was when I worked with distributors, I just started realizing this lately, but people come on and say they want to tell you their story about the first time they tried milk stout or something, and it didn't need to be something that really got me that excited or happy, or maybe I wasn't spending enough time listening to these people, but now it's like somebody comes up and tells me about why they like Left Hand. It's like really cool. I spend the time to talk to them, you know. I don't care how busy I am. If somebody wants to tell me about their story about this trip they're on. They got up in Colorado and they got Left Hand milk stout and they loved it, and it was their first craft beer, and it's like, man, that's really cool, you know. And I've actually starting to really appreciate that, and I think it's a really cool thing. So, Four Peaks, yeah, those are my homies down here. They make great beers and they're great people. They're by far the number one brewery in Arizona. They make leaps and bounds more beer than anybody else, and and I'm real good friends with most all those folks. What's your input, Nick?
They're not the ones that made a fool out of themselves.
They're not the ones that made a fool of themselves, no. They have a very good reputation out here. Oh, the trademark. I knew somebody was going to ask me about that, the nitro. I think with the social media stuff, I think the trademark laws are weird, and I think like a lot of breweries probably would have done that. Like, I think our take on that is if we didn't try to trademark that, maybe somebody else would have. But I think it got a little blown out of proportion. I think if we would have done it 5 years ago, nobody would even have known. But we didn't get nitro, and I don't think we really expected to. And we also didn't expect the social media craziness. But I guess the good stuff and the bad stuff goes out of people's heads pretty quick. Is what we learn, and just kind of move on. If that happened, then we just kind of water under the bridge. But yeah, it was an interesting thing. It was kind of scary. We had the emails and the Twitter feed. I was looking at Twitter, all these people saying I'm never drinking Left Hand again because I guess we're trying to I think social media sometimes blows things out of proportion. But I'll wake about it. Oh, we get approached. The interesting question from Jason. I was just at our sales summit last week, or 2 weeks ago. I was up in Colorado for a week, and yeah, we get approached weekly or every other week or whatever. We could sell our brewery like that. There's and all the big breweries too. And we're kind of set up right now. We're actually going to go to I don't know if I should talk about it. We're going to go to some more employee ownership, basically, but kind of like what New Belgium does. But we are financially sound. A lot of these breweries that are selling are so we've been around for 21 years, and we buy one big tank, and we buy one big thing at a time, take a loan, and pay for it. So we're really financially stable. And that's something we talk about in our planning meetings with our distributors, too. We don't owe a lot of people a lot of money. And I think a lot of these breweries that are selling are kind of spread a little thin. So, yeah, so we have Eric Wallace, our co-founder, and Dick Dorr. They started the brewery 21 years ago. They didn't want to get jobs. They wanted to make beer. It wasn't a money-making thing back in the day. And they could probably sell the brewery for whatever, 3-4 times what it's worth right now. But they've created a great community up there. They have 100 employees, and they care about us, which is actually really cool. And they have no plans to sell, which is pretty awesome. I'm pretty excited to work for Left Hand. Eric Walls is kind of has that fuck the man attitude. Excuse my language, but I think he'd rather walk on razor blades, broken glass, barefoot, than sell to one of those big guys. And he's got so much. He's done so much for the community up there, and I don't think he can see himself getting out of that. And yeah, so yeah, the interview with the Left Hand folks. Yeah, we're not a fan. They're not a fan of that, and the big guys, and we're going to kind of keep on doing what we're doing. When we grow, we're not just opening markets to open markets. We try to grow at a measured pace. We have a whole bunch of we have 480 barrel fermenters we're going to be dropping down by May, hopefully, moving into California. But it's like, we have a lot of these breweries have to move. Like Avery, I saw somebody say Avery's building a new brewery. They had to move to a new facility. So they have to take these big $30 million loans or whatever it is. That's just off the top of my head, I'm guessing. But we're buying properties around our brewery, and we're going to expand out. And we're not going to. We have no plans to move to a new site or anything, which is real expensive. We're just buying one tank at a time, one big toy at a time. Kind of like a lot of breweries, I guess. Probably how you guys will grow your breweries too, guys and girls. So,
Dan, you mentioned something I think that's pretty interesting in terms of going to a distributor or a potential client and talking with them about your financial stability. I think it wouldn't necessarily cross my mind as that being something that would be even in question, but as you say it, I think it's pretty powerful, especially with a distributor relationship, to say, look, we're not going anywhere. It would serve you great to form a long-term relationship with us because we're going to be here for the next 21 years too.
Exactly. And I think we have put out on our sales, on our annual business plans, I think we put up a little priority list, and I think quality is our number one priority. And then I think financial stability is right up one of our most other important points. And I can't remember what was 2 or 3. And the salespeople were like at the bottom of that list. But quality is number one. That's we have 5 full-time quality control people now. And
yeah, that's great. Yeah, and I think, like Mike says, if you are financially stable, that means you don't have to do crazy stuff to try and scratch together some cash to pay off the loan that you shouldn't have taken. And it
exactly.
means that you're just going to be more stable all around, not just in financial terms.
Oh yeah, exactly. I think it's a pretty big deal. Yeah, and the quality thing is a huge thing too. In fact, when I do sell my beer, I talk about and I talk about other big breweries. I talk about New Belgium. I talk about whatever the bigger breweries. We have a lot more quality control. We have lab technicians and all this stuff, and that's something that the smaller, like when you guys open a new brewery, it's going to be quality is the toughest thing for everybody, I guess, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it has to be about the people and the culture. Yeah, I think that's what Left Hand's about. I think we're about the beer, number one, I guess, and the quality of our beer, and then the people and the culture, and the money will follow. And I think it's the same thing with a lot of the I'm sure that all of you are looking at other breweries and what they're doing, and we do the same thing. We look at what New Belgium does, and we look at what Odell's does. We love Odell's, and we look at what they're doing, and like, Odell's doing this. Like, that's a great idea, or New Belgium's doing this. New Belgium has Monday office days, and that's a pretty good idea. Like, the sales reps on the street, like the beer rangers, have Monday office days, and my bosses were like, hey, our guys should do Monday office days too. So we kind of look at what other breweries do, and other breweries look at us, I guess, and when we're friends, we talk about stuff to them. Was it you all who tried the trademark Nitro? Yeah, it was us. I don't know. I think we kind of covered that.
We talked about that a second ago, Colin, yeah.
Financial stability, people buy your beer. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
curious, Dan,
yeah.
talk a little bit about the process. So, say, maybe a new grocery store just picked up Left Hand. You heard from the distributor. Is that something that you go make a visit and talk to the beer steward at that grocery store? What do you do to cement that relationship?
Yeah, a lot of that's these days, like the Kroger stuff. It's like our chain guy will have a meeting with some big guy, and he'll get like 600 placements or whatever. But yeah, I don't like Fry. We have a lot of Fry's Kroger stores down here, and we're gonna get milk stout in a bunch of them. It's like I probably won't do too much. Whereas like a Whole Foods or something, though, yes, I know I can tell you every in Arizona and New Mexico, I can tell you the manager's name of every liquor department, every specialty department. I do spend a lot of time in the more of the specialty fine stores,
Mm-hmm.
And we have Total Wines. You guys have Total Wines? No, you don't have Total Wines in Oregon, or do you? I don't know. Anyways, Total Wines. We spend a lot of time in there because you can get a lot of displays and stuff if you get to know people, and you can really move a lot of beer if you can get displays, Total Wines and all that stuff. Time for a refill.
So new Whole Foods manager starts or puts up a display. Is that what keys you in? Then it's time to go say hi and talk to people?
Yeah. I regularly visit all my Whole Foods and all my Total Wines. Like when there's a new seasonal coming out, I'll hit every Whole Foods. When there's a new bomber coming out, whatever, anything, I'll hit all my big accounts. And
Gotcha.
then I'm not exactly sure. That's kind of an interesting question. When you ask about the chains, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. If I get like 50 or 60 fries in the valley, I probably will try to stick my head in the big ones, like in the places where I think people would be buying more of our product, like Tempe and Scottsdale, those kind of places.
Sure.
So,
Where the demographic numbers maybe match a little bit more with the kind of folks that drink more craft beer than.
exactly. So I'll probably try to hit some of those. And I do samplings too. That's another part of my job. I do promos and samplings. So maybe I'll even see if I can. They have you setting up displays. They wouldn't have me setting up displays, but they would. The distributor would, if I could sell a display in, the distributor would probably take care of that. But one of the main difference between your role as a salesman. Oh, okay, so so this is Ben. I'm pretty familiar with both ends. I've done many years more years as a distributor sales rep. The distributor sales rep kind of represents all the brands, and so they're going to talk about Left Hand, but they're also going to push whatever they have to push that month. New Belgium or Breckenridge, or the distributor I used to work for, we sold Breckenridge, Avery, or Ska or whatever. They're pushing what they need to push, and as a salesman for my brewery, I just sell my beer. So I spend a lot of time working with the sales reps. I try to keep my brewery on the tops of their heads. Like, you walk into an account and like a bar manager's like, "Hey, I'm taking this beer down because it's not selling." I want them to think, "Hey, Left Hand, that guy from Left Hand is pretty cool. Like, he's got good beers, And I wish it's easy to say and hard to do. It's something I'm constantly working on, trying to get into the. I drove around, did a lot of driving today because I had to go to old Chicago's, and I spent a lot of time in the car, and I probably called 5 or 6 reps just to see what was going on, see how they're doing, and talk about beers a little bit. So you see higher sales in AZ in New Mexico because of warmer temps. Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. We sell a lot more beer in the wintertime, obviously, because we get more visitors from out of state in Arizona.
Probably a different mix, I would imagine, right?
Yeah. I don't know how much more beer we sell because it's so hot. I think I don't know if that really affects things. We sell a lot less beer in the summertime, that's for sure, because there's less people down here. But yeah, it's interesting. I don't know how that works. The temperature. I drink beer year round. We see the best relationship tool to distributor salesmen to get them to have a better focus on that. I think just getting to know them. And of course, money. If your beers are priced competitively, they're going to be better able to place your beers around. And we're not exactly the cheapest beer that they sell, but we're also not the most expensive beer. And I can kind of, I think the sales reps know that if they get a good handle, I can come support. I can sit down and spend some money, or maybe do some promos with my money, with my budget too, in the big accounts. So I think that helps. And I try to be, I guess, friends with the distributor reps. And there's some distributor reps that hate my competitors. They think they're jerks. The guy from this brewery said this to me, and I hate the guy. Like, he called my boss and complained about me, and I'm never selling his beer again. I'm like, screw that guy, And I hope nobody ever says that about me, but you never know, right? Standard. I think it's Ben. I think it's kind of an even split. That I work closer with the distributors or the stores. I think I work more with the stores. I think. My job's kind of set up. I'm like 80% of my time is in the market, so I think I spend more time in the stores and the accounts. But I think I should probably spend more time with the reps. Yeah, Canadians love AZ. That's for sure. We have a lot of Canadians down here.
Do you still do ride-alongs with distributor reps fairly regularly?
Yeah, I need to do more of those. They're really hard to, it used to be no big deal to do ride-alongs, but now there's so many more brewery reps. Seems like almost every month there's a new brewery rep in the state, and it's harder and harder to get ride-alongs because, you can't just have like a rep having a different brewery rep with them every day of the week. And if we could all ride along with the reps all the time, I'm sure we would.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's good. Sometimes that's bad. I think I need to do that more, but I think sometimes you just if you're riding on a route with a guy or girl that's got 20 stops and maybe 8 of them might be good for my brand, and then I've got a bunch of Circle K's or I got a bunch of accounts that I can't even sell beer into, or they're not interested in my brand. I'm wasting time too, you know. So
Sure.
so
Maybe
there's
they
time.
think of it as free labor.
Yeah, that's what he's like our distributor down here has a dedicated craft team where all they sell is craft beer, which is what I used to do as well. So they can I can they can rather rep, or when I used to work for the distributor, I'd rather rep, and I could like just focus on their brand. Like I would ride with the Ska guy, and we just sell Ska all day. I wouldn't talk about one other beer all day, you know. But in reality, most distributors aren't really set up like that. They got to sell their Coors and Miller and Blue Moon or whatever it is they're selling as well, because that's what kind of pays the bills, you know. But I don't know.
What about what do you do for check-ins at bars as opposed to chains, that sort of thing?
Check-ins? What do you mean?
Yeah, is it as simple as going and hanging out with the bartender and the manager and buying around or something like that? Is that
Yeah, that's what I think most of us probably do. Yeah, sitting down and I have an account down here in Tempe that I've been trying to get a tap handler for 2 years, and my office day is Monday, and I've pretty much been going there every Monday for heck a couple of years now, and I know everybody in there, and I'm gonna get a tap handler pretty soon. But yeah, I get to know people, I think, and you know, spend some time, but don't spend too much time if they're not comfortable having you there, because some people don't like you hanging out all the time, I guess. But yeah, try to get to know people. You know, and I walk into like my top 10 accounts, like great accounts here in Arizona. Like I walk in, like, oh, Danimal, what's up, man? Like those people walk over, high five me, and you know. Then I have some accounts that sell a lot of beer that I'm like it's like a North Scottsdale, real kind of snooty kind of crowd or something, and I don't feel comfortable in there. It's kind of hard for me to hang out in some of these accounts that buy a lot of my beer too. So of course you tend to hang out in places you're more comfortable at, but there's always some accounts that'll buy a lot of your beer that maybe you're not comfortable in. You know, I probably need to spend more time with those guys, those places too. If you don't like you hanging out, tip more. Exactly. I guess I had one account that maybe didn't like me hanging out. That was it. They're jerks. Snobsdale, yeah. Well, some of my favorite bars in the anywhere are also in Scottsdale. So there we go. I'll open our nitro. My nitro milk stout for it. I'm about ready. I don't know if you can see that. You kind of can. Hope I don't pour it on my computer. There's the how do you do that? It's like the opposite way. There's the selling right now. You can never stop selling beer, Mike.
Yeah, Jason, what is it? Left hand, especially the nitro stouts tagline is
Pour hard.
Hard, right?
Pour hard. Yeah, that's actually right upside down. You saw me dump it upside down, and you get that cascade, that nice head. So
that's just because of the nitro.
You gotta agitate that nitro. It's kind of a smaller bubble, I guess. Whereas if it goes out of that nitro faucet, it kind of agitates it in the faucet, you know. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's fun to dump that upside down. And I always usually when I sample my non-nitro beers, I'll just kind of take like a shot glass or a rocks glass in a bar or whatever. But I'm like, oh, can I get a pint glass? And I always dump it upside down, and people always get nervous and grab a towel or something. But I've done it enough times, I don't get nervous either. But you got to watch those 14-ounce cheater glass pints. But still, you can pour them right if you pay attention.
That's right.
Looks like I'm going to Vancouver watching this. Hunting for Left Hand. Vancouver. Yeah, I'm not sure if we're in Vancouver. I know we're not in all of Washington, but I'm not sure where Vancouver is.
Right.
But I know we're expanding to a bunch of more parts of Washington this year. So
Yeah, Jason, looks like we might have to wait another few months at least to get it here in
Across
Southwest
the river.
Washington.
There you go. Oh, that's just across the river right on. Yeah, I'm hoping to get up to Portland here maybe this year. We'll see.
Dan, can you talk about, so you mentioned a little bit that you get an account. Does Left Hand give you sort of a monthly stipend to buy rounds? Is that something that
Yeah.
is a legit part of
I have
your sales?
yeah, sure. I have like a budget that's set up. I kind of write my budget, and they'll kind of approve it or not approve it. But yeah, I have a set amount for the year, and it's like my travel and everything. But yeah, I buy beers and accounts. And it's I don't know, probably I think New Belgium. We always have a saying amongst us. Biggest brewery buys, Like if I'm hanging out with New Belgium people, I make them pay for my beers, and sometimes people make me pay for their beers. But if I'm drinking beers with a bunch of brewery people, usually that's after a beer festival, biggest brewery buys. Usually you hand the tab to the biggest brewery, and you hope it's not you.
I like that trick.
That's a good one. But yeah, yeah, so yeah, we spend money, and that's part of hey, if you put my beer on tap, I'll come in and do a promo and spend some money next month or whatever. I'll set something up, and I think that helps you support the brand. But it's hard, I do Arizona and New Mexico. It's hard for me to get around to all these places, and then you get into that drinking beers in the afternoon thing gets kind of rough after a while too. So
yeah, you don't really want to have 2 stouts and then have to drive 3 hours home.
Yeah, exactly. That's tough too, and we definitely stay in hotels when we're away from home. I don't do a lot of late night drives, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But do I just buy my beer? Yeah, I just buy my beer at accounts at bars. And samples, I get from the distributor because it's obviously a lot cheaper. But yeah, life's a bitch. It's kind of one of those things that sounds sometimes a lot more fun and attractive. I think a lot of people see me out drinking a beer in a bar like, oh, dude, I want your job. But they don't realize that last month I had a festival every Saturday, and I've had promos, and maybe if it's a festival out of town, I wake up on Sunday and have to drive home. So it's like I'm working like multi-days in a row. And I love it. I don't complain about it, but it's kind of funny, like what people think about our job than what our job actually is. Kind of like one of those things you see on Facebook or whatever. What they think we do, what we do, what we actually do. What I actually do is drive around a lot and stress out about a lot of things, a lot of emails, and getting reports back to my boss and all that stuff. Yeah, it's always a job in the end, but I do love it, and I think it sounds like you guys are all getting into a fine business as well. And I think the thing I like the most about working for a brewery is the community. The craft beer community in Arizona is nice and strong. I love it in Colorado, and yeah, I think we're when you travel around to these festivals week in and week out, you become friends with all the other breweries and all the cool people, anyways. And I think I'm sure you guys will. Yeah.
You mentioned something I'm curious. So you've been in Arizona for a number of years now selling beer. Do you feel like you have had to sort of educate your clientele a little bit about craft beer? What's your approach for that in terms of trading handles of the craft?
Yeah, we do that a lot too. I mean, let's take that bud handle down and put it in a bottle because it's the same beer, and yeah, we do a lot of that kind of stuff. I do staff trainings. I do a lot of staff trainings. I definitely sell a lot of beer into some, and now it's becoming more and more popular. Like there's all these craft accounts that 10 reps go in every day, and I'm trying to get more of these like higher end places that are maybe just thinking about getting more craft handles. And you sell into those places that are maybe new into craft beer. The staff doesn't know anything about craft beer. The servers So I try to do staff trainings. I'll get in front of the at a shift change or something. I'll try to talk to 10 people for 5 minutes about the brewery. Maybe give out some headbands and some stickers or something, and I think that really helps. Yeah, I think the staff education is like probably one of the biggest things, and I think it's something a lot of people forget about. You can get a beer on at a bar or restaurant, and if the staff doesn't know about it, they're not going to sell it, you know. And that's educating in these places that are getting, like, it might be the guy that owns the place or the manager's idea to get into craft beer, but maybe the servers don't really care so much. So I'm trying to get them to understand, like, there's a story behind the brewery. That's why if you try to tell the story of our breweries, I think every brewery out there, I mean, you guys are going to all tell the stories about how you started out and where you came from and what you did before you opened your brewery, you know, and that's kind of what we do too. Every beer's got a story, you know. Every brewery's got a story. Kind of interesting. Now we're getting this era, which we'll all have to deal with. Is like pretty much every beer now that we have has a story behind it. You know, like all our beer names all have stories behind it. But now it's like you can't really name your beer anything. Every beer name's taken. So now we just have to name our beers like something that we can actually use and not get sued or whatever. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely almost an imperative to have a more interesting culture so that you have something to tell a story about, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think you mentioned that earlier on about a lot of the community involvement stuff, at least especially locally in Colorado, but you do stuff all over the country, right, in order to make that connection and
sure, yeah, we're trying to do that the Bike MS thing, or you know, New Belgium. Look at their Tour de Fat. You know, that's a great thing. That turns a lot of people into New Belgium fans, if not just for the day. But
yep.
Yeah, we try to do a lot of local. And I have, and I haven't really been successful with this, but I can donate beer to certain different causes if I think it's a good cause. We don't do. We're kind of serious about. We don't donate beer to schools. Political things, schools, or religious things, because we don't ever want somebody getting mad because like we donated beer to this kid's school but not this other school, or political things. We don't want someone to not want to drink our beer because they think we donated this thing and we have this stance. We want people from all sides of political things to drink our beer, you know. And so we don't do schools, political things, or religious stuff. We don't want somebody to not drink our beer because of some kind of weird religious thing, or we donate, I guess, you know, money to a church or something, or beers. But yeah, you can really do a lot of great things donating kegs of beer to raise money for different things, though. No beer for mass. We should, yeah, there you go.
Somebody wants it, right?
But yeah, so that's, so we don't donate beer to anything. But like this Bike MS thing we do is, it's a heck of a great cause, and I feel good about it. I felt good. I raised $1,400 on my own from different friends and family members, and it's a good cause, and I think we're going to kind of pursue that a little bit more. But yeah, I think we just try to become good community partners and make good beers, and try not to be dicks about it, you know. Try to be cool.
Yeah. Do you find it's interesting or different? Do you struggle with the fact that you're selling a beer that's not from Arizona, in Arizona, New Mexico?
Oh yeah, that's we're getting a lot more people saying, yeah, we do. We have bars now that are only Arizona beers, which even if I didn't work in the beer business, I wouldn't quite understand that, because I mean, there's a lot of great beers from all over the world. Yeah. But yeah, we have. You know, we're kind of like we're established in Arizona and New Mexico, I think, but sure, we're experiencing a lot of that, and we just keep plugging away. But yeah, it's local beers are, and I'm good friends. I don't have any enemies in the Arizona beer community. You know, and what my only defense amongst that is I talk about the quality of our beer compared to the quality of some of these other breweries that maybe aren't quite as established as we are or whatever. But growler shops, yeah, they just changed the law now to where people can sell growlers to go of any beer. It used to be only breweries like about a year or two ago. That's growler sales are huge right now in Arizona, and then you still can't sell growlers in New Mexico except for at the brewery.
Okay.
Yeah, anything that's truly craft. Yeah, you want to see it. I'm the same way. I think it's if you just drink Portland's like I could probably live in Portland and just drink Portland beers. I mean, there's a lot of great breweries up there, but heck, there's a lot of great Belgian breweries, and there's a lot of Colorado, California. Your Ballast Points or Green Flashes. I mean, heck, I think it'd be hard not to drink some of those beers. In Left Hand, we don't have like we can only drink. There's some breweries that are our size are a little bigger than our brewery that they're only allowed to buy their beers, but we support the craft beer community. I can drink beers anywhere, anybody's beer. We're part of the community. We like everybody's beers. Not everybody's beers, but you know what I mean. But Green Flash, yeah, that's a fine brewery. He just bought Alpine. Alpine Brewery just was released today. I missed the Alpine. Alpine is now sold in Arizona. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Alpine Brewing. Green Flash just acquired them. Kind of an interesting thing in the beer business. Green Flash just bought Alpine Brewing. They've been contract brewing for them for a while, and I think they just bought the brewery. And like today there's a little happy hour promo, which I missed because I kind of wanted to have somewhat of a clear head for this thing. Well, Alpine, but anyways, they're in Arizona now, and I hear they make great beers. I'm looking forward to trying them. We just had two brothers move down here from Chicago, and I went to their launch party. Eric Wallace actually sent me the invitation they sent him. He's like, I want you to go to this and represent us. I'm like, you got it, man. If you want me to go to a brewery launch. So two brothers actually opened a brewery in Arizona. They're making beers in Scottsdale now, which is kind of interesting. And they make great beers. Quality first, Green Flash, next to my list. Quality first, that's our number one priority, and I think I'd be surprised if the top 50 breweries, probably everybody has that quality, number one.
Yep. Yeah, you can get anybody to try your beer once, but if it's not good, they're never going to come back.
It's true.
Well, I think we have used up our hour tonight. Thanks so much, Dan, for sharing your experience and time at Left Hand and information sales tools. I hope everybody got something out of it. And
thanks, guys.
And so we'll be signing off. Thanks, Dan.
All right. That was fun, guys. I appreciate you guys listening to me ramble on about stuff. And look me up. I'm Left Hand Dan AZ on Twitter. If you want my email or something, if you come to Arizona or come up to the brewery, shoot me an email. DanJ@lefthandbrewingcompany.com is my email. So don't be afraid. I'd love to see some of these people someday. I'd love to visit all your breweries when they open.
Cool. All right. Well, y'all have a good night. Cheers, and Lisa, we'll see you next week.
All righty. Thanks, guys.